After waiting nearly 4 years, the time has finally come to decide. I have to decide whether I'm going to ever put on this shirt or not. This shirt was given to me as a gift from one of my favorite congregants, and I've never used it. And now it has to be decided. Does it speak for me or not? Well, that's for me to decide. But the time has come for you to decide. This Tuesday, you're going to have to decide not who you're voting for. I think most people, certainly the people I know, have already decided long ago who they're going to vote for. No, the bigger question is, you have to decide whether you're going to vote. It is a pain to wait in line, just as it was a pain to have to fill out a form as I did and then to have to take it to the post office. And you know what? Nearly 40% of the American people do not vote in a presidential election. Nearly 40%. Why don't people vote? Well, some say they're all the same. They're all no good. Nothing ever changes. But that's not true. They're not all no good. Only one of them is no good. And you have to decide which one. But another response I get from people is, I'm living in Maryland and it doesn't matter. It doesn't make a difference. This is a blue state. It's going to go Democratic no matter what. And it's a big mistake to feel that way, because it's a big mistake not to vote. Our tradition tells us, Heve mispalel b'shlomo shel malchus. We are supposed to pray for the welfare of the government. We are supposed to give our support to a government, and we have to decide what kind of government that's going to be. There are millions upon millions of people throughout the world who are protesting and fighting for the right to vote. What kind of an example are we setting for them when we have the vote and we don't use it? In this week's Torah portion, we are given those warning words, Anshe Sodom ra'im v'chata'im ma'od la'Hashem, and the people of Sodom and Gomorrah were wicked in the eyes of God. Next week comes the culmination of the story when God is prepared to wipe out Sodom and Gomorrah, but Abraham says to him, Ulai, maybe there are 50 righteous people in the city and it's worth saving. And a famous Hasidic master, Reb Simcha Bunim, said, what do you mean, maybe there are 50 righteous people in the city? If there were 50 righteous people, wouldn't Abraham have known of them? And he says, perhaps there were 50 righteous people, but they stayed out of the city. They didn't get involved. They took care of themselves and didn't involve themselves in the community. And if good people don't involve themselves in the community, if good people don't vote, then there is no hope. I learned this lesson from my wife in 1980. In 1980, the day before the election between Reagan and Carter, I found myself in New York. My father was having heart bypass surgery. And I called Sherry that night and I said, Sherry, I'd like to stay over to be with my father. But if I stay over, it would mean missing voting tomorrow. Now, I despise Jimmy Carter. My wife, Sherry, has never met a Democrat that she didn't like. And so I said, Sherry, I'll stay here. You don't vote, and it'll be a wash. And she said to me, it's my duty and right as a citizen to vote, and I'm going to vote. I never realized my wife was so patriotic. But you know what? I got on a Metroliner and came back home to vote. So even if your father is having heart bypass surgery, and even if you have to take a train, and even if you're not married to a patriot like my wife, you have an obligation as an American and as a Jew to vote this coming Tuesday. And as they used to say in Chicago, vote early, vote often, and wear a mask. Shabbat Shalom.